My name is Jeffrey Kleiss, and I'm the founder of RelaChat. RelaChat is group messaging based around conversations. Now you might be asking, why another messaging application? Well, basically, for us, Slack didn't work. We had certain needs that Slack wasn't providing. We wanted smarter notifications. We wanted to know when a conversation was started, but we didn't want to get overwhelmed until we were ready to participate. We wanted to keep organized. We wanted to be able to hide conversations that weren't relevant to us so that we could focus on conversations that were. And we wanted to respond on our time. You know, some messages are immediate and need our urgent attention, but for the ones that aren't, we wanted to respond when we had time to respond. So let's jump into some demos. On the left, we have Susan, and on the right, we have David, and they're both on the same team. And Susan is going to start a new conversation with her default group, Dev. Now, everybody in the Dev group will see a notification of the new conversation. But other messages that come in, they will not receive notifications because we don't want them to get overwhelmed until they're ready. And once David is ready, he can join the conversation and start replying. Now, every message that comes in, he will receive a notification for, and he's free to multitask and do other activities and feel comfortable knowing that he's still connected with the conversation. Now, RelaChat allows you to send a conversation to a group, an individual, or you can mix and match between groups and individuals to pinpoint exactly who's going to see that conversation. Now, if you forgot to add somebody or later on you won't want to add someone to the conversation, you can always message them and they will receive a notification and can quickly join the conversation and start participating. Now, RelaChat was designed from the ground up to allow you to stay organized. And conversations is a great way to do that. Let's say you have a conversation that comes in that's not important to you. RelaChat allows you to easily hide that conversation so it no longer bothers you. And then you can focus on conversations that are important to you. And RelaChat won't bring up that message again in like the reply all spam that you get. Now, you can also clean up messages that or conversations that you had participated in, and you can feel comfortable that if that conversation pops up again, RelaChat's smart enough to know that you participated in it. It will make sure that conversation is revived for you and you can continue your conversation. Now, an important part is being able to respond when you want to respond, and conversations are perfect for this. They group all your messages into a nice package that you can feel free to move around and respond to later. And if an urgent message comes in, it doesn't interrupt your conversation, it starts a new conversation for you. So you can easily switch to that urgent conversation, feeling safe that your conversation before is still safe and nicely packaged up. Now here, David has responded to the urgent message and is busy, but Susan really wants to know what's going on tonight, and so she messages David. Now he's busy, so he quickly and easily snoozes the conversation. This lets Susan know that he's busy until 2:30. And RelaChat at 2:30 will notify David that his snooze is up so that he can quickly respond to the message in a timely fashion. And now we're down to our final question. David really wants to know who won that ping pong tournament. Now, normally he would ask his team who won and interrupt them, but RelaChat does a search for him as he's starting that conversation. So he can easily and quickly see that he won that tournament without having to interrupt anybody in his team. So there you go. RelaChat has smarter notifications. It allows you to keep organized and to respond on your time. Again, I'm Jeffrey Kleiss, and if you have any questions, ask them now, or feel free to hit me up after the presentation or check us out online. So right now we're still in a private beta, and so we're looking for a few good companies that kind of help finish out the features that we need before we release to the wide open public. And so for the initial release, we're looking to kind of do a freemium type model. Yes?
So if you're concerned that the rules have hidden some messages that you might want to see, is there a way to go and see everything that's come to you over a recent period of time?
Yes. So the question is, if you have hidden stuff and you want to go back and see all the messages that came to you. So we have a search feature that allows you to determine, like, show me any conversations that I was a part of, or show me any conversations that had this person and that person and had that phrase and maybe had a file in there. So you can really try to pinpoint conversations.
What are you writing it in?
The whole interface right now, we have an iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac client, which are all web interfaces. So it's all written under Google Web Toolkit as the interface, so under Java, and then it's all a completely Java backend and Elasticsearch for our search.
Do you want to go back and look at historical chats from a couple weeks ago? Is it categorized the way Slack does into channels, or do you just have to do a word search, or how does this?
So the question is, if you want to go back and look at conversations in the past, how do we organize? Are we organized under channels? And the answer is no, we're not organized around channels. We're organized around conversations. And we believe this is actually better when you search, because the content is nicely packaged up. And rather than in a channel where it can be, the conversation can actually be spread out over a long period of time. And so conversations in the middle. So our organization is all based around conversations that can kind of package those up. And one way you could look at it, a lot of best practices around Slack and IRC, is you want to kind of minimize the topic that a conversation is on. And so you could look at RelaChat as kind of forming a new channel every time you want to talk about something. And this makes it very easy for you to search and find stuff. Yes?
How many users can you handle?
So right now, the platform that we're on is completely scalable. So there's no limit. We're basically hosted on Google App Engine, so there's no scale limit to us right now. We feel that our desired number of people is like 100 people is really a good platform to understand how conversations and how teams interwork together, and that's where we really start to shine. And we've designed it around being able to support large companies of 5,000 people. But that kind of organization of being able to manage people is a little larger of a task, so we haven't kind of completed all those pieces for the administration of a large company.
What are you doing for IP protection?
The question was, what are we doing for IP protection? Simple answer is nothing. Everything that we're doing is pretty much standard. Like, we're not reinventing, we're not doing something drastically different. We've just taken what pretty much exists there and packaged it nicely. And so we're really more trying to look at the fact that we're organized differently, that Slack can't switch to doing what we're doing because they would drastically change how their product works. And so that would alienate all our customers. So we're protected in that way of Slack from coming in because they won't change. In terms of somebody else taking over the technology, we're kind of on the feeling that if we build it fast enough, it's better to buy us out than to try to compete with us. And so we're looking down that path. Thank you very much.